Hi, my name is Jim Irvine. I'm a board member with the Second Amendment Foundation, the Buckeye Firearms Foundation, and a director with the Faster Saves Lives program. I want to thank you for joining us today and for checking out this video. I want to talk a little bit about some elections. Now, the presidential election gets a lot of attention. It has the most amount of money, most amount of airtime and debates and TV and all this other stuff. And that's okay, because the President of the United States is the most powerful person in the world. But there's other elections that are equally critical to you and I and our rights. One of the most important things our president does is nominate judges. Now, the U.S. Supreme Court again gets all the attention, but the appeals court is where 99% of the cases are really decided, as well as all of the lower courts. So those judges, while nominated by the president, are confirmed or not by the U.S. Senate, making the Senate absolutely critical to who our judges are for these lifetime appointments that establish our freedoms throughout the entire country. So while freedom and safety should be nonpartisan issues, the sad reality is the National Democratic Party has taken an absolutely hostile approach towards our rights and our freedoms. Don't take my word for it. Look at their platform. They make no bones about the fact they're not interested in taking our guns or a gun ban. Their intention is clear. They want to destroy the entire firearms industry, the community, you and I, and our rights. That is what they're after. And if they take control of the Senate, they're going to block any judge that doesn't support their radical mission. So it's critical that we maintain a Republican control and a pro-gun control of the U.S. Senate. Now, the reality is, as important as those federal races are, most of our firearms restrictions come at the state level, not the federal level. For an example, compare the radical laws in New York, New Jersey, California to those in other states like Pennsylvania, Florida, Montana. The state laws are really the most restrictive and where most of the rubber meets the road for us and our freedoms in our daily lives. So I want to implore you to get involved in your local state house and state senate races, as well obviously as your governor and other races. But those are really important. But let's drill down a little further. In concealed carry classes, people often ask, hey, if somebody does something to me and I respond and then they do this and I shoot them, would I be prosecuted? And I always ask, well, where would this take place? Well, at home or at work or at the grocery store. So no, what county? They're like, why does that matter? Well, in Ohio, we have 88 counties, which means we have 88 county prosecutors. And your state is set up, whether they call them prosecutors or solicitors or other things, it's basically the same system. You have a local attorney who's going to decide how to prosecute cases. Now, the same fact pattern in one county that may result in an aggressive prosecution and possibly conviction and destroying of a life, in another county might be no billed and even be thanked for doing a civic duty and protecting yourself and your family and the community from a horrible killer. The same fact patterns play out differently based on who the judges and the prosecutors are. So your local prosecutor and judges are arguably some of the most important votes you'll ever cast. And they don't have the money, so you have to do your research ahead of time. And any discussion on voting would be lacking if we didn't get into school boards. And I know school boards aren't typically political and people don't pay a lot of attention to them, but they're critical. I want to commend your attention to the book Why Meadow Died. This is written by Andy Pollack. His daughter Meadow died at Parkland. So none of us want our schools to be mentioned like Parkland or Sandy Hook. But the reality is the Obama administration held up Parkland as one of the best districts in the country and pushed their policies nationally, including your school district. So you may have the best school board in the country, but they may have adopted pieces of this radical agenda that allowed 18-1958, I'll use this number because I don't give cowards and killers the recognition they want. And as Andy Pollack points out in his book, an individual is really sick. Maybe the only thing sicker than him is the school district that instead of treating him, fostered that sickness and then put it in a classroom beside kids just like yours. That is why his daughter died. And we all need to understand all of our kids are at risk. Because while our schools focus on standardized testing and graduation rates and scholarships and athletics, too many of them do not put an emphasis on safety. And that is what the Faster Saves Lives program is about. I'm very proud to be involved in it. I believe it's the best such program in the country, and I think undisputed that we've done more than anyone else. But it's important that you get involved. On the medical side of the stuff, understand that there are forces that are opposed to even treating the injured kids in school. They don't talk about it that way, but that is their policy, and it's rather sick and disgusting. So from the president to your local races, I encourage you to get involved, get informed, and be active, and encourage your friends too. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you in person.